Hi, my name is Franco Rotoli from the Solidworks training team. This is the second video in the xDesign for Beginners series where I'm modeling a phone holder. Today, we'll be modeling one of the holder arms. Let's jump into xDesign and start modeling. From the xDesign main screen, I'll click New Component. I'll name it Arm and note the collaborative space to which it's saved. I'll show my standard planes from the View menu and choose the front or YZ plane and start a sketch using the shortcut icon. Since the arm is of a consistent thickness, I can get away with sketching an open profile, or just a series of lines that don't form a closed loop. I'll choose the line tool and sketch an L shape. Notice I'm being mindful of the blue inference lines so that it ties my lines to the origin. To stop the chain of lines, I just push Escape on my keyboard. I can also double-click the left mouse button to stop the chain. Next, I'll add some dimensions to fully define and size my sketch. I'll also add a fillet within the sketch. Depending on the circumstances, sometimes it's easier to add a fillet in the sketch rather than in the 3D solid. My sketch is still fully defined, so I'm ready to extrude. Because my sketch is open, an error pops up in the corner, warning me about open profiles. It also offers a solution and suggests I close the profile or change the extrude type to thin or surface. I'll choose thin. Now the extrude dialog changes a little and gives me a box to type in a thickness. This part will have a consistent thickness of 5 mm. I'll change the direction 1 end condition to mid-plane so I keep my plane centered. Then I'll click the green check to accept. Next, I'll choose this face and start another sketch to remove some material. I'll sketch a corner rectangle and dimension it. I'll also add another sketch fillet in the corner here. This time, I'll choose Extrude Cut from the action bar. And because I want this cut to always go through the entire part, even if the thickness changes, I'll choose Through One Way as my end condition. Clicking the green check completes the command. I'll add a fillet feature to this corner. I couldn't add this to the sketch because this corner didn't exist before the cut was made. For the top here, I want to round this completely off. I could do the math and figure out the radius for each corner, but what if the geometry changed? I'd have to go back and redefine the fillets. Luckily, the fillet command has a full round option. I don't have to think about any dimensions. I just select the 3 sides that are involved in the round, and xDesign does the math for me. Next, I'll round off these front corners as well. Notice the Design Assistant. I'll click it and it will suggest the other corner. This error is because full round fillet is still selected. I'll simply change it back to a constant fillet. The last feature I'm going to add is a round standoff on this face. This will engage with another component later. To make sure it stays centered on the face, I'll sketch a line. When I hover over the circular edge of the fillet, notice a blue circle appears. Just like the blue inference lines, if I click the point in this circle, xDesign will create a relation and lock it to that point. One more thing on relations. Notice the V next to my cursor here. This is telling me that the line is vertical and will add a relation keeping it that way. This line is for reference only, so I have to make it a construction line. To do that, I'll simply select on the line and click this icon. I'll now sketch my circle on this line, watching for cursor feedback and sketch relations. Adding some dimensions to size the circle and locate it where it needs to be completes the sketch. Finally, I'll extrude this boss 5 mm to complete the arm component. I'll hide the planes to clean up a little and save the part. Thanks for watching. In my next video, I'll design the back plate that holds the phone. For more great content, click the link in the description below to access additional tips, tricks, and training courses. And as always, happy modeling.